welcome back to another episode of Farewell Evangelion. This is a series where we go through the full Neon Genesis Evangelion series bit by bit, episode by episode, week by week. My name is Keith Ramsey, and I'm going through for my last time, and I'm joined by Peter Akerley.
Hello!
Who is going through for his first. Today we watched episode 24, The Beginning of the End, Knocking on Heaven's Door. This episode first aired on March 13th, 1996. Shrouded in mystery, the arrival of a new pilot, Kaworu Nagisa, arouses everyone's suspicion. He acts friendly to Shinji.
Yep, alright, so, right off the bat, my predictions for this episode. We get a new Ava pilot to replace Asuka. Check. We get, the Ava pilot is actually sent by Seele to infiltrate, Nair. Check.
Yep.
We get the reveal of the 17th Angel, who happens to look like a human. Check.
Tabris.
Yep. The 5th child dies during the episode to up the stakes. Check. The angel doesn't die during this episode to leave something left for the last 2 episodes. Uncheck.
I mean, there's still an angel alive.
There is an angel alive. Lilith is clearly going to be a fucking thing.
And you didn't, I guess you didn't specify which angel was going to live.
Yeah.
Because we got to reveal this one that Kaworu is Tabris,
Yeah.
and that the angel that we thought was Adam this whole time under Nerve HQ was actually Lilith. Adam is missing, quote unquote, and Lilith is probably right.
This makes so much sense now because so many things have been resolved. Because I know one of the questions I had earlier on when we first saw Adam in air quotes, which was actually Lilith with the spear of Longinus
Yep.
In the chest. Earlier on, one of the questions I asked was, "How is that Adam? Wasn't Adam that little thing we saw earlier on?" And you're like, "I don't know. They're both Adam." Now I know. No, they're not. Fuck you. One of them was Lilith. Adam is still the little tiny thing. And based on what we saw of Gendo's hand during this episode, Adam is inside Gendo's hand from what I can tell. Maybe inside Gendo as a whole. Maybe Gendo asked for Adam to be like sent to him because he was like craving an Adam sandwich, so he ate Adam, and then unbeknownst to him, Adam is now corrupting his body from the inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy lore dumps in this one that we get.
Yeah. Alright, so my big prediction of the reason all the angels are attacking Nerve HQ is because Lilith is underneath Nerve HQ. That was fucking right. Cool, way to go. They thought it was Adam down there, and that's why they were going, because according to what Kaworu Tabris as Kaworu said...
You can just say Kaworu. Like, Tabris is the angel association name given to him, but just say Kaworu.
Thank God. So according to Kaworu, the angels' purpose is to re-merge with Adam from whence they came, and in doing so, they will destroy all of humanity as part of the process. But that's the only way the angels can go on living, or something like that.
Yeah. Only angels or humans, or as he puts it, Liliths, can survive.
So that was going to be one of my questions, was what does he keep talking about Liliths for? Now I understand Lilith, because another thing that gets said by Seele is humans are all children of Lilith, or Lilith is the progenitor of all humans.
Yeah.
So he's calling them Liliths as in children of Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith of the Black Moon and Adam of the White Moon.
Yep. Yep. Oh, fuck, there's a lot that happened in this episode. Jesus. Ray commented on how Kaworu was just like her, and Kaworu made a comment about how Ray was just like him.
Yeah.
So, now that we know Kaworu is an angel, pretty confident that Ray's not just a human. Well, obviously, start back up. Obviously, we learned last episode she's not just a human. She's an Evangelion. Now it's starting to look a little bit more like my theory about the soul that's inside of her is actually the angel Lilith's soul. Looking a little bit more accurate as well. Because she's clearly got angel powers, because she briefly appeared inside the Terminal Dogma alongside Kaworu, and they're like, there's an angel there, and then it cut to Ray just like looming over top, looking down on them.
Yeah, because like, there's another angel, and a lot of people, when they watched it this first time, I was like, what do you mean there's another angel?
Yeah.
We were promised 17! Well, there's still 17.
Also, part of my thoughts when they first said there's another angel, I was like, oh, has Lilith, who's down there, or Adam, or at the time I was thinking it was Adam, and I was thinking, has Adam, who's down there, awoken or some shit? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, that could be the other angel. That makes a bit of sense. And then smash cut to Ray looming, looking down on Kaworu. I'm like, oh, no. Ray's the other angel. Okay.
Now, there is one thing I do want to just clarify, though, because this is a point of contention or confusion for most people. Kaworu is not specifically Adam.
Yes.
Because it's Adam's soul is within Kaworu, but he is the 17th angel Tabris with the soul of the first angel, Adam. So the physical form of Adam, as you presumed, is within Gendo, but the soul is not. The soul is within Kaworu.
So, like, if Gendo had just, like, slapped Kaworu across the face in the middle of the episode, humanity would have died because Kaworu came in contact with Adam again?
Technically, from what we understand, that would have triggered third impact.
Okay, cool.
Which,
cool.
honestly, I haven't thought about it, but that's, like, kind of like a badass way to trigger third impact.
Okay. Kaworu
You bitch slap someone out of existence.
Gendo's like, I'm not taking this. Smacks Kaworu across the face, and then humanity ends.
Yep. The world's biggest mic drop.
Yeah, fuck. That'd be a real baller play by Gendo there.
To be fair, I would not doubt Gendo to pull that move if he needed to.
I would not be surprised if you look through Narrative HQ contracts, seeing some like very fine print, like fucking like the Santa Claus levels of fine print, and it just says, if given the chance to slap an angel and in doing so end all of human existence, do it.
Gendo called dibs.
Oh fuck! All right. So what else? Oh, also going back a little bit, we had memed earlier. Well, I had memed, and you probably like had knowing thoughts inside your head.
A lot of your talking about what you suspect is me having knowing thoughts in my head going,
Yeah. But one of the things we memed about early on in the series was how dedicated Rey was to following orders, and how if she was told to fight an angel not inside an Evangelion, she would probably go along with it. What I learned these last two episodes, that would probably actually still work out for her based on what I understand.
To a degree.
Yep. All right. So fuck. All right. What else? Yeah. No. God. All right. Jesus. So yes, Lilith was in fact. Oh, my brain. Lilith was in fact underneath there. We were told that the angels really want to merge with Adam, but in doing so, they will bring about the end of times. Not the end of time. The end of humanity. Time will move on. Humanity. Let's go back to talking about the episode. I can't keep talking about all the reveals.
So yeah, the episode opens with Asuka kind of having a flashback moment and also finding out that Kaji's dead.
Yes.
So between episodes, Misato or Ritsuko confirmed for Shinji, Kaji's dead.
Yeah.
Shinji tells Asuka she has her full breakdown and she's just kind of spent 7 days hanging out in the bathtub. The implication is she's trying to kill herself because she doesn't want to exist anymore because she has a zero sync rate.
Yeah, she has no purpose and her favorite person on Earth is Airhead.
Yeah, and Misato and Hyuga, who are kind of doing the Kaji Misato thing now. And we get tones that Hyuga has a thing for Misato, aside from doing her laundry in earlier episodes, I guess.
Yeah.
But the implication is that they suspect intelligence purposefully waited that long so that they would be able to remove her from Unit 2 to allow the fifth child, Kaworu, to come in and easily take over Unit 2.
Yeah.
And they do give a hint pretty early on that something should be up when they explain they didn't have to change the core for Kaworu to pilot us.
Yeah. There's a couple things that are kind of super iffy going on there. There's also the fact that so throughout this whole series, we've seen Shinji listening to what looks like a 24-hour track of music.
Well, we see it a few times, but it's specifically on one loop. So
Yes.
every time that song finishes, or whatever the track is, it keeps going back. He's always, I think it's, let me double check here. I think it's track 24, but I'm going to double check that. Oh, sorry, I'm mistaken. Track 25 is what Shinji is listening to.
Track 25. Okay. So we don't know what's on that track yet. I don't think, at least. It might have been revealed. I don't think it was. But we briefly see him actually listening to music, and we don't hear any voices. So I initially assumed that was what he had been listening to all along, was just generic music. He's a real, like, buff for this one song. So
He's all about that royalty-free music.
Yeah, so he listens to it on loop.
On cassette tape.
I'm starting to assume that I was wrong about that, but we'll move on. We'll see what happens. But then this episode, we see when Kaworu first meets Shinji, Kaworu's humming Ode to Joy to himself, and then Kaworu, I wouldn't even say flirts, he's just like kind of generically nice to Shinji, and Shinji falls in love with Kaworu, obviously, as he would. And then
I do want to specify, and this is directly from Ano himself, and the way he words it is crazy enough, but Shinji has no carnal feelings for Kaworu.
Oh, I love that he had to phrase it that way. Because Kaworu is clearly taking the piss out of Shinji the entire time. Like, hey, can we shower together? And Shinji's like, alright, we should go to bed. And Kaworu's like, together? And Shinji's like, that's not what I meant.
To be fair, I don't think that there's any question about Kaworu wanting to fuck Shinji.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a thing. Which, now that we know that Kaworu has Adam's soul in him, does that mean Adam wanted to fuck Shinji? Is that what's going on there?
Which gets even more awkward that Adam's in Gendo's hand.
Let's not think about it. But yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up is after the test they do where they find out that Kaworu is capable of having near perfect sync rate without even swapping out the container, the core.
Yep.
We see Shinji waiting, but claiming he's not waiting for Kaworu outside of the testing room, and a little bit weird that he waited for Kaworu to take a shower instead of just like going off to take a shower right away. He clearly wanted to shower with Kaworu. Even if he doesn't have carnal feelings, he wanted to shower with Kaworu. But we see Shinji waiting. And a neat little detail that I noticed that I thought was fun is this is the first time we actually hear what he's listening to, what he's doing, and he's clearly listening to Ode to Joy again.
Yeah.
Kaworu has had an impact on him as a person. But yes, that happens. This is when Kaworu starts turning his flirtatiousness up to like a 12.
Yeah.
And then he gets real overt about how...
Please, a 17.
Sorry, yes, you're right, a 17. It gets real overt about how Shinji is deserving of his grace, and how he has decided he likes Shinji.
Yeah.
When Shinji very sadly admits later on that's the first time anyone has ever said anything nice to him, is Kaworu saying that he's deserving of his grace and that he likes him.
Yeah. Now, there's an interesting part about that specifically that I want to bring up. I was going to bring up in the fun facts, but I think it's good to talk about it now. What Kaworu says to Shinji is highly contested through multiple versions of this, because it goes everywhere from like to love, from what Kaworu says.
Fair.
And the original English dub had that in love, so a lot of English viewers, the subtitles and the English words say love, which some people say is a mistranslation of the Japanese. But a lot of English northern viewers and all that believe that Kaworu is just telling Shinji, I love you. And that's why it's such a strong effect on Shinji. The version we watched, which is the redub, which was done for Netflix, he only says like. And a lot of people got pissed off. It's like, you're trying to hide the gay undertones of Kaworu.
I want my boy love, give me my boy love.
And of course, Kaworu is one of the waifu war contenders.
Of course he is. As I said while we were... Well, you made that comment about how Kaworu's one of the waifu war contenders after we were watching that shower scene. And after he said Shinji was deserving of his grace, I turned to you and said, I think I know who I want to win the waifu wars now.
And I just sat there silent, knowing he was going to die in a few moments.
Not only did you know he was going to die in a few moments, you knew I correctly predicted he was going to die in a few moments. Fuck. Alright, Jesus. So yes. Shortly after they sleep together, we get the next morning when Kaworu starts revealing his true nature, because he walks up to Unit 2 and is like, alright, child of Lilith and Adam, come with me, dear friend. And then they head towards the central dogma.
Yeah, Kaworu reveals that anything that is made of Adam, he can just really control as much as he wants because they're the same force, and the soul that was in Unit 2 has regressed into the unit and is essentially hiding.
Yeah.
And because of that, he was able to easily take over it without any issue.
Yeah, so he did specify if there was a soul inside it, he couldn't control it. That's why he's not able to, like, just fucking shut down Shinji while he's violating the Ava.
Well, we also kind of get the reveal that he kind of wanted Shinji to win anyways, and that's why he also specifically targeted Unit 2.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about something now. Pieces are falling into place for me.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get there. Alright, so Shinji has his fight with Unit 2. As he's fighting with Unit 2, he apologizes to Asuka. Presumably for killing her robot. Maybe he doesn't understand that Asuka's not currently piloting Unit 2. Maybe he assumes she's piloting Unit 2, going along with Kaworu because of his stunning good looks. It's not super clear to me, but maybe he's just...
Sorry, Asuka, but he's mine!
You can't have him, I want him!
Non-carnally!
He told me he loves me! But yes, not in a carnal way, just in like a I need a friend way.
I really need this, Asuka.
I need a friend I can shower and sleep with, but not carnally, just a friend. Oh god. So yes, Shinji defeats Unit 2. This is when Adam manages to walk. Or not Adam. Kaworu, although I guess kind of Adam.
Yeah, that's what people get confused with what they need to refer to him as, because he's the soul of Adam, the angel Tibris, and Kaworu.
Yeah. So Kaworu finally manages to make it into the terminal dogma, or whatever they call it. And he sees Adam, and he's like, ah, yes, Adam, I can finally merge with you and end all of human existence. Meanwhile, Bray is looking down and being like, yeah, I see you, you sussy little bitch. And then Kaworu flies up a little bit, sees Adam's face, he's like, holy shit, you're not Adam, you're Lilith.
Peter was right!
Yeah. I see what your plan is there, humans. Or
Lilins.
Lilins, yes, you're right, he doesn't call them humans. I see what your plan is, and it's not going to work. I'm going to have Shinji kill me now. And then, yeah, Shinji kicks down the door and kills Kaworu. After, like, trying real hard to convince himself that he doesn't have. Crushes him with bare hand. Not bare hand, his Evangelion hand.
Yeah.
Everyone was sad.
Yeah, Kaworu dies, and that's kind of like the cut of the episode after Shinji explains that he feels like Kaworu should have won, that Kaworu's a much better person than he is, and because of that, the angels, I guess, deserve to live in humanity. Fuck you.
Yes, because one specific angel is a better person than one specific person. Humanity should end, and angels should live on.
Yeah. But we find out that, well, first off, we get a big lore dump when Seele's talking to Kaworu, when Misato's kind of like eyeing them from a distance, and then I think one of our big indicators that something's going on is when he looks back and we see just how far Misato is, and like, he saw her.
Yeah, he looks back, he clearly sees her, looks into her binoculars, and you're like, oh shit, he can see her. And then she takes down the binoculars, and you're like, he shouldn't be able to see her.
She's on the other side of town.
Yeah.
But we get like a big lore dump about the angels and Lilith and Adam specifically, of the black and the white moon.
Yeah.
Which are big important things. Kaworu's birthday is the same date as the second impact.
Yeah.
And we kind of find out that there's this big overarching plan where Seele, knowing what Gendo was doing, knew that Kaworu was the next angel, or the final reported angel, and that by sending him in would force Gendo's hand.
Yeah. Which raises some questions, because so far it seemed like Gendo and Seele's plan was to stop the angels. Like, that has somewhat been their express goal. Their goal is to stop the angels.
Wait, talk about it. They've always said their plan is the Human Instrumentality Project. Nothing about angels.
Yes. Obviously that. It has been suggested, or Instrumentality Project was just a means towards stopping angels and ensuring angels could never defeat humanity in the future. That has been my understanding of it, and that seems to be what it was leading me towards.
I think a lot of people assume that.
Yeah. When we find out that Seele is intentionally using an angel to try and bring about the third impact in order to defeat Gendo, it raises some questions about what the fuck the Human Instrumentality Project is, and how that fits into Seele's plans.
To be fair, I don't think Seele's goal was, oh, this is going to trigger third impact. I think the goal was, if we do this, Gendo has to complete the last part of our plan and can't bullshit us anymore.
Oh, okay. That's fair, I suppose.
Because the situation is, if Gendo fails here, both our plans fail. But if Gendo succeeds, he has a chance still, but our plan is at its final steps.
Fair enough.
So mutual destruction, essentially, if you don't.
Yeah,
But
mutually assured destruction. You have to make progress on our plan in order to make progress.
Exactly, because you have to defeat this angel, because the angel will fuck up your plan if it completes its goal.
Yeah.
Even though it kills all of us.
So it seems like Seele's Human Instrumentality Project now seems to be based around possessing 8 Avas in some way, and that seems to be their goal. And if they have a which fits with like the Illuminati-esque themes that we seem to be getting from them.
Yeah.
And then Gendo's plan is becoming a god himself, from what I can tell, but I don't think that's exactly his plan. I think he wants the power of a god, specifically so he can bring Yui back based on what the conversation he had while looking at his hand, saying we're in the final steps of the plan now, I'll see you soon, or some shit like that.
Well, in front of Unit 1.
Yeah.
Also, Seele's like, we have to trust in Unit 1.
So Unit 1 is key to both of their plans.
It seems so.
And we know that Gendo was never actually a part of CLA. He kind of worked indirectly for them. But we know Yui was specifically a member of CLA.
Yeah, she was the child of a prominent member.
Yeah. So, I predicted in the previous episode about how Unit 1 was her soul merged with fucking Ava or something like that. Or Angel, I believe is what I said. If that's the case, then that would fit with Gendo looking at it and talking to Yui, and them wanting something to do with Unit 1, or trusting Unit 1. Something's up with Shinji. So, I gotta go back a little bit and talk about Shinji. This is more theorizing and less so questions, but there might end up sounding like questions. So, in a much earlier episode when we were talking about the tests and doing the synchronization tests with swapped pilots, we talked about how Shinji and Rei were the special case, and most children would only be able to pilot their own Ava. Rei were the special ones. I believe that's what we said.
So, Rei, we found out, was able to pilot pretty much Unit 1 and 0, no problems.
Yes.
Shinji could kind of pilot 0, but there was some problem, and neither of them could accurately pilot 2. Asuka could not pilot 1 or 0.
Yes.
And in the case of the other child that we do know of that would be under normal circumstances, so not including Kaworu,
Yeah.
Toji would be able to pilot 3, but not 2, 0, or 1.
Okay. So, there was also a line, I believe it was Kaworu who said it, while talking to himself or something, where he felt like there was, he felt like he had a similar feeling between Rei and, we already know why Rei feels the same, but...
So, I think you might be confusing, because it was, at the end, Shinji explained that the feeling of connection he had with Kaworu and Rei.
Okay. I still feel like someone said some sort of line about Shinji being connected with the two of them in some way. Even if he's not an angel, I think there's something extra special going on with Shinji. But we'll get there. Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm misremembering or misinterpreting. But anyways, that was my thought. Had to get it on recording so that if it comes true later on, it's right. Just like I did with Lilith and Rei and...
Yeah, you got the Lilith thing completely correct, though I think in the wrong way.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting the twist reveal of Adam was actually a Lilith, and...
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we now know the location of the 17 angels.
And there are 2 in various states of alivehood right now. Everyone, the other 15 seem to all be dead at this point.
Yeah, the body of Adam is still around. The body of Lilith is still around, and the soul of Lilith is still around.
Yeah. Something's going on there. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna get to the bottom.
Over the next 2 episodes, probably.
And if not, we'll get to the bottom of it over the course of the next couple movies after that. Alright, shall we get into some questions?
Yeah, ask away.
So, just to confirm, that was Gendo, or that was Adam and Gendo's hand, right?
Yeah, yes.
We can confirm that? Okay. A lot of my questions we kind of already talked over, like I was going to ask, so it was in fact Lilith all along. Yep, that was right. So I was taking some notes on my phone as I was going, so I didn't forget stuff this time. And one of the notes that I wanted to share was Kaworu should absolutely win the waifu wars. That makes me sad now that I think about it. So we know specifically when an angel comes in contact with Adam, it's supposed to bring about the 3rd impact.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what's supposed to happen if an angel comes in contact with Lilith? Because the moment Kaworu realized it was Lilith, he stopped himself in his tracks and started reevaluating his plan. So
maybe that's what the next 2 episodes are about.
Fair enough, I guess.
Maybe it's something we'll find out later on.
Maybe it's not. Who knows? Yeah, no. The rest of my kind of questions we kind of talked through.
Okay, so a few things to go over then. So one thing we kind of get a bit of information on that you might have not caught there was Kaworu kind of gives us a few details on what the AT field is.
Oh yeah, it's the pure light of the heart or something like that?
Yeah, it's essentially a barrier within everybody.
Yes.
And it seems angels are able to manifest it physically.
But everyone has that barrier.
Yeah.
So maybe it's related to the soul or something like that.
We We also find out that Rei and Kaworu have the same type of existence.
Yep.
So the big thing about this too is we know that Rei was caused by Yui's DNA being kind of put into Lilith.
Yeah.
And coming out with a soul, which became Rei. And Kaworu was born
during the second impact, and he seems to have Adam's soul. So Kaworu probably has the body or the DNA of a human who came in contact with Adam.
And there is two popular theories on who this is that are never answered.
So one theory is probably Misato's dad, I would guess. Is the other one like Gendo or Fuyutsuki or something like that? But they weren't there on the day of the impact.
The other idea is Gendo, because there's been no confirmation that they had to die to infuse DNA.
Fair.
But those are the two popular theories, assuming that it's a character within the story. It would have to be Misato's father or Gendo, for there would be the only ones who would have access to have a narrative plot point in the story.
Fair.
If it was Gendo, that could build further on the connection Shinji feels to both of them.
Yeah.
And then gets into some interesting implications about hating his father but liking Kaworu.
Yeah.
But
Although by the end he does comment about how Kaworu's just like his father because he betrayed him in the end, so that would kind of fit with the theory.
yeah, there's like a lot of narrative through lines that work for either of them,
Yeah.
but it's never confirmed which one it was, just that Kaworu had to have used some Lilin DNA to take form, which angels need that Lilin DNA to be able to be human, essentially.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, that means Kaworu is a being that was born at the second impact and has been with Seele since.
Makes sense. I think I prefer the Misato's dad narrative. Like, I don't hate the Gendo narrative, but I feel like Gendo's at the center of every mystery, so to throw one to someone else feels better.
And just for a little bit of simplicity here, here's the exact quote from Kaworu. An AT field, that's right. That's what you Lilins call it. The sacred domain where none may trespass. The light of the soul. Lilin, you know, don't you, that the AT field is the wall that everyone has in their heart.
That's gonna have to come.
Now, there's a few other interesting things here. This happened a few episodes so far, but there are some episodes that have things that weren't in the original on-air release that were later added on in the digital versions, or I guess at this time would have been DVDs and VHS tapes.
Sure.
So here are some of the things that were missing in the original version of episode 24. So Asuka's shocked expression when she found out about Kaji's death was not present. The brief appearance of the Adam embryo on Gendo's hand was not in the original air. The conversation between Kaworu and Rei where he says we're the same.
Man, they really left a lot of specific details that help resolve mysteries.
The 15 monoliths with Kaworu having the conversation where Misato was spying on them. That scene wasn't there.
Okay.
And there was an error when showing Lilith where she didn't have her legs.
Okay.
Because that grew back after the spear was removed.
Right, yeah. I mean, with the exception of that one, so with the exception of that one and the one at the beginning, the Asuka face reveal, it seems like they kept out most of the plot resolutions that we got in this episode were not a part of the original airing of this episode.
In a sense. Because I feel, you don't know that Rei has a little soul in her at this point. You just get that she was pulled out when she was fused with the DNA and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But Kaworu saying we're the same kind of tips a lot before the reveal of, I'm the angel. Because think about it this way. Without any of those reveals, Kaworu just walking up to Unit 2 having a conversation, and all of a sudden he walks on air and then Unit 2 gets up, is a much bigger reveal when you don't have that other context.
That's fair. This one kind of makes you reveals that there's something fucky going on with Kaworu earlier on.
Yeah, and this is kind of going towards, it's not so much a fun fact, but more to a conversation we kind of had before we started recording here, where you were talking about how you can't think of where the series is going because they defeated what you suspected was like the big final angel, Kaworu.
Yeah.
And I think that's something with a lot of people with the series misunderstand, is that the series itself isn't exactly about defeating angels.
Yeah, there's a lot of episodes that really makes you feel like the series is about defeating angels, but I think the key might be in those side episodes we got, which weren't about fighting angels, but were about character growth. That might be where I have to go back and look to see what the key to this series really is.
Yeah. context that you might miss, which kind of hints at what the idea of the story is about.
It's all about how everyone wants to sleep with Gendo this year. That's what seems to be going on.
So far, it's only been 3? And Fuyutsuki, if we want to take that implication from an earlier episode into effect.
Yeah, I do want to take that implication into effect. Misato doesn't want to sleep with Kendo, but I would say her actions towards Shinji means she has some weird feelings towards at least Anna Kari, so I'll give her that much. Oh, fuck. Alright. So the episode. My thought. Do you have anything else before we get into our thoughts on the episode?
No, that's pretty much it for like a lot of the big plot stuff.
Fair. This episode was an emotional roller coaster for me.
Yep.
Partially because there was a lot of happy feelings, not so much because of what was happening on screen, but because it was like, I was right!
Yeah.
I was right! Fuck! So that was going on a lot. But also there was legitimately in the episode, if this was something I was watching on its own without having made predictions, there would still be that kind of roller coaster of emotions, because you get to see Shinji making a friend finally, you get to see Shinji realizing his friend's not who he thought he was, you get to see Shinji killing the last person he thought of as a friend, because before meeting this friend, you have Shinji talking about how literally everyone who he had positive feelings towards, those feelings have been ruined at this point. His feelings for Misato have been ruined. Asuka and Rei, he doesn't know how to confront either one of them after all the reveals he's had of them. Like, he has no one positive left in his life. Toji and Kensuke have been both fucked off out of the city. Like,
yep.
There is no positive.
Even Pen's gone.
Yeah, there's no one positive left in his life for him anymore. He meets Kaworu, who just like turns to him and smiles. He's like, "Ah, shit, I got a friend again." And then by the end of the episode, he is crushing his friend to death in his hands.
Yeah. And a lot of people do complain about the fact that there's like these long scenes, but like in particular, this specific long scene where he's got Kaworu in his hand, I feel like the fact it takes so long makes you start thinking about things. Well, like clearly Shinji's contemplating what he needs to do, and I think that just makes the scene a lot more impactful.
Yeah, this is. I will admit there were some scenes earlier on where the scene dragged on a little bit, and I was a bit concerned. Well, not concerned, but I wasn't always the biggest fan. This one, I was fully into it, because I was just like, I can feel the emotion in the scene, where it's a still image of just Shinji holding Kaworu, and I'm just going through all the emotions that Shinji's going through at the same time. Yeah. Yeah,
this is definitely one of the more powerful episodes for just how everything is done.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright.
So yeah, I think with that, it's time to wrap up this episode. So if you'd like to reach out or contact us, you can contact us at whatismypodcastabout@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us through Instagram, where we upload images on a weekly basis, and we have polls on the weekends as well. And of course, you can follow this podcast on all major podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube. Please like, favorite, subscribe, leave a comment, review. All that does help. And of course, as every episode ends, Peter, what can we expect next time on Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Alright, so this one is not going to involve any combat, as we've already addressed. That's not what the show's about. It's going to involve a heart-to-heart between Rei and Shinji, where Rei has now kind of been revealed to us as Lilith, so she's going to have that heart-to-heart where she decides whether or not she's going to kill off humanity, and Shinji's going to have to convince her that humanity's worthy of saving. That's what I think this is going.
That sounds like a good time, so make sure to tune in next time where there'll be plenty of fan service.